Hello One Piece enthusiasts, I'm the One Piece nerd, and today let's talk about Luffy avoiding Blackbeard with the help of his devil fruit for the past 3 years. Now what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is Luffy has been avoiding Blackbeard in almost every single circumstances that they get. They never have a clean fight. And this idea sparked when I started sort of analyzing the whole Blackbeard and Law thing. When I started analyzing the situation, it feels as though something is wrong. Something is wrong with the natural order of devil fruits that allows Luffy to get away from Blackbeard in severe situations. Now before you move on, make sure to like and subscribe, it helps the channel out a lot. Now that you have, let's begin. So, it's been stated that Hito Hito no Mi Model Nika, Luffy's fruit, I'm gonna call it the Gum Gum fruit. So, because so used to it, it's so easy, man. So the Gum Gum fruit has been avoiding the world government for the past 800 years. It's been specified by the Gorosei that it's been avoiding the world government for the past 800 years ever since the last user had it, which is Joyboy. Now, there could have been users in between, but the world government never actually saw it, being awakened, and they were never able to get their hands on the fruit because zone fruits have the will of their own. Now, when that was talked about, I didn't really think about it that deeply. With the specific introduction of the plotline of Law versus Blackbeard, Blackbeard stated that either one of them would be entering that part of from Wano where Blackbeard would get his hands on the poneglyphs. And it avoided Luffy. It did avoid Kid. Maybe Law was unnecessary, but is it coincidence or is it the fruit itself? Now, story can go anyways. I'm talking about the internal workings of the story rather than Oda's decision to put Law against Blackbeard. Now, with that being stated, I went back to Jaya. I went back to Impel Down. I went back to every single situation where Blackbeard just barely avoided Luffy because of unforeseen circumstances or because circumstances didn't allow them to. Now, the first interaction that Luffy has, Luffy's crew, the Straw Hats, let's say, the first indirect interaction that they had with Blackbeard's crew was in Jaya. The first person to target the Straw Hats was Van Augur. Van Augur was trying to shoot one of the Straw Hats with a clean hit with his sniper rifle from a long distance away, and he missed. He said, luck wasn't there, fate wasn't there, something along that line. The second interaction that Luffy directly has with one of the Blackbeard pirates is Doc Q. Now, that doesn't indicate that, Van Augur is the vice captain of the Blackbeard crew or whatever. I'm not here to talk about the speciality of the order and in which the Titanic captains are formed. I'm here to talk about the interactions only, to be very specific. That was the first. The second was in Mocktown. It was in Mocktown when Doc Q fell down from his horse, stronger, and Luffy and Zoro helped him up. And Doc Q handed Luffy an apple. He offered him an apple. Zoro didn't take it because it looked suspicious. Luffy, being the kind of person he is, takes it, eats it, and is alive, and a second later, we see explosions happening. Explosions happening that people said that weird-looking doctor handed out 5 apples to 5 different people and it exploded. It all exploded, but Luffy's didn't. And Doc Q specifically said, you're lucky. If it would have exploded, it would have exploded a very long time ago, the moment you ate it. You're a very lucky man. That is the second interaction. What does that mean? Does luck play a part in the story? Yes, it does. For Luffy specifically, the boy has golden luck. I'm gonna go back to every single plot armor that One Piece ever had, and everything came down to luck. But is it luck though? I say it's the devil fruits at work. A long time ago, Joyboy Theories, one of my all-time favorite One Piece content creator, came up with the ideas that devils have their own will and devils have some sort of an influence. He was talking about all devil fruits having some sort of a will of their own that helps their users to get away from unforeseen circumstances. Some devils are unlucky, some devils are lucky enough to get away from serious situations. Now that that's not specific, zone fruits are. Luffy's was, Nika. So is it Nika that allowed him to get away from both of the situations? Or is it something else? The next interaction we have with Blackbeard and Luffy is on the bar. This time Blackbeard didn't go there for an intent to kill, but we see their interactions, we see their parallel personalities, we see everything they have. And there's nothing to take away from it other than that two fruits being the same and different at the same time. Two devil fruit users, both zones, likely zones, I'm saying, because everyone after the Nika reveal, everyone's been saying that the Yami Yami no Mi is also a very different fruit, and that it is a zone as well, because Blackbeard said that fruit called me, and zone fruits has a habit of picking their users. Anyways, not the point. Point is, two devils with similar goals, users of similar interest, but value different things. Now, there's not much luck involved in it, and then we see interactions, and then Luffy and Zoro understands that something's wrong with Blackbeard. It's not one person, it's more than that. And that's their third interaction. The fourth interaction is on the way to Skypiea. When the Straw Hats were going up the knock-up stream, the Blackbeard pirates were right behind them in order to catch them to become warlords. Or Blackbeard wanted to become a warlord by capturing Luffy. That was his initial goal, after Luffy had a bounty of 100 million, and Zoro had a bounty of 60 million. And that's when he decided to go after them. He inevitably failed again. Third time that Blackbeard has been unable to capture Luffy or severely wound Luffy in any sort of circumstances. And granted, the first two occasions weren't Blackbeard himself, but I'm talking about the crew as a whole. The next time that Blackbeard wants to go after Luffy was after Water 7. Luffy was severely tired, severely wounded after his battle in Eni's lobby, and Blackbeard tries to go capture Luffy for the second time to become warlord, and guess what happened? Ace intervened, Ace got captured, Marineford happened, yada yada yada. Again, who knows what it is, but zone fruits have capabilities of doing things out of the ordinary. What are the possibilities of Shanks going after the Gomu Gomu no Mi? And exactly when it was in the CP9's hand. And at the same time, what is the possibility of Ace encountering Blackbeard right when Blackbeard decides to strike Luffy when Luffy is at his most vulnerable state? Again, look, the possibility of Blackbeard attacking Luffy and then being able to capture him after Water 7 is 100%. He would do it. He would easily get rid of every single people that were there in Water 7, and Luffy would not be able to get away. Thanks to Ace, that didn't need to happen. Next time Blackbeard and Luffy meets is at Impel Down. Ace is now taken to Marineford. Blackbeard is now at his goal to basically use the prisoners of Impel Down to make his own crew. And then look what happens. Luffy has an encounter with Blackbeard this time. This time they actually honestly have a fight. But because of circumstances, because both of them have different ways to achieve their aims and different beliefs, they clash, but only for momentarily, and they somehow avoid a deathmatch fight. The next time it happens, I wouldn't say Marineford is a good example of this, because in Marineford, Blackbeard and Luffy never really got to interact because he was after Whitebeard's fruit, where Luffy was after saving his brother, and now he's severely wounded and mentally unstable from Ace's death. I wouldn't consider that to be an encounter, but then again, it's an encounter nonetheless. That didn't happen because, again, unforeseen circumstances. This time it wasn't his own fruits, it was just the story as a whole. Next time, and the only time it happened, is quite recent. Blackbeard going after Law, rather than anyone else. He was waiting for either one of the three. Luffy, by happen chance, wasn't there. Because of Luffy's luck. Luffy chose his directions on a whim. And I would say that's his luck, his willpower, and everything that goes into it. And Van Augur said something very interesting. If he has strong will, if he has the will to surpass others, if will has it, he will once again he'll once again cross paths with us, and then we will battle. Is it willpower? Is it double fruits? Is it the history behind the sun god Nika's fruit and the Yami Yami no Mi? What sort of history do they have? What is it that Joyboy was initially seeking? Who was the user of the Yami Yami no Mi at Joyboy's time that made Joyboy, or Sun God Nika, trying to avoid him, to be specific? If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Put your thoughts down in the comments below. It's just an interesting speculation. I feel like devil fruits have a huge part in this. If you guys enjoyed, and it's just an interesting thought. And just, put your thoughts down in the comments below, what you think, what you don't think. Until next time, peace.